Hello, this is Bill Steffen. Thanks for joining me today. We sure had a wet Wednesday. Much of the area had their wettest April 2nd that we have ever had here in West Michigan. Some places picking up close to 3 inches of rain, and there was some local flooding down in the Kalamazoo area. We'll see if we can take a look at some of those rainfall totals about the area here. Kalamazoo topping the list, WMU 2.58 inches, and that was as of early evening, and they picked up a little bit more rain after that. There were some unofficial totals in Kalamazoo of around 3 inches, officially at the airport, which is, I think, in Portage, 2.36 inches, 2 inches at Hastings, almost 2 inches there at Battle Creek. We had a record 1.73 inches at Lansing, inch and a third in Grand Rapids, and that's about what I had at my house, too. Over an inch at Holland, just a little bit less off to the north. We lost an N there in Muskegon, but we'll find that again. 92 hundredths of an inch, and there was some snow off to the north. Places like Hesperia and Big Rapids picked up about 2 inches of snowfall during the early morning, and that melted off. But fortunately, no serious problems on the roads here with the mixed precipitation off to the north. So let's see if we can take a little break right now and thank our sponsors.
And let's start by thanking our amazing sponsors. So if you are disorganized like we are and you lose the N in Muskegon in your house, Complete Care Concierge can come and find it for you. Complete Care Concierge has you covered. They are a fast, efficient, and affordable cleaning service. They service all of West Michigan. So if you're wondering if they're in your area, if you're in West Michigan, they are too. They can do a one-time clean for your home, for a special event to get organized. They can clean on a repeated basis. They even clean on the weekends, whatever you need, all the latest products and ways to protect the things in your home and get your home looking amazing. And they do office cleaning as well. Plus they do move in and move out. And we are so grateful for them for being a sponsor of Bill Steffen Weather. 616-264-1397, 616-264-1397. So please give them a call.
When your home needs help, you might not know where to start. Why not ask Ace? We're always here to help with Ace Handyman Services. Our talented craftsmen handle everything from drywall and carpentry to doors and kitchens. We're the neighbors you trust to get the job done right. Let's get started. Book your handyman appointment today. Ace Handyman Services, bringing helpful to your home.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Well, there's going to be a whole lot of rain off to the south of us, and this is going to be a big story. Some places down along the Ohio River are going to get a foot of rain here over the next 3 days. This is the severe weather outlook for later today. This is Thursday, and you can see there's an enhanced risk, which is level 3 from northeast Texas up into Tennessee, western Tennessee. The slight risk goes from actually West Texas all the way up into Pennsylvania. And the front that's stalled down there that's producing all these showers and storms is just going to hang in the same spot for 72 hours. Now, you're looking at the outlook for Thursday. If we hit the button and go to Friday, you can see that the severe weather is going to be in just essentially the same place, Texas, Arkansas, getting hit with more thunderstorms here. I think all that thunderstorm activity will stay south of us on Friday. Friday night, there may be a shower getting closer to us here, but the main threat for flooding is going to be off of the south. Now, this is Friday. Let's go to Saturday, and you can see yet another area of heavy thunderstorms along the Ohio River into Kentucky, Tennessee, and that enhanced risk down toward Texas. So we have 3 more days of severe weather. There will be a drier pattern here for the middle of the month, and they'll have a chance to dry out. But I expect some rather serious flooding in those areas. In fact, if we take a look at the next slide here, this is the what we call the precipitation forecast, the quantitative precipitation forecast. And if you look at the scale, there's a large area there that could see a foot of rain over the next 3 days from Texas up into Ohio. So anybody that's traveling south, I know we got spring break coming up. A lot of people will be heading down Interstate 65, Interstate 75 in Ohio into Kentucky. And you'll certainly want to watch out for the fact that there'll be a lot of standing water around, some big puddles to dodge, and even some storms here over the next 3 days. And keep an ear out for what county you're in too. I don't think we're going to see any snow here, but look at the places getting snow. And we're already to April 3rd, and we've got heavy snow over parts of Montana into Wyoming, down into the Colorado Mountains. It's going to snow in Denver one more time. There's still more snow up in northeast Minnesota, where they picked up 10 inches of new snow at Grand Marais. And one other town which escapes me right now, Duluth, I think, had 3.5 inches, but the northeast part of Minnesota picked up nearly a foot of snow, and more snow for northern New England, where they are still skiing, Vermont, New Hampshire, and up into the state of Maine. Well, let's take a look at our headlines. Dry weather expected here for the most part today and Friday. Now, we may see some showers Friday night, but I think during the day on Friday will be okay. And I think we'll be okay for the Whitecaps game, though I'm thinking there may be more like increasing cloudiness, probably upper 40s during the game, but not too bad. It's the first game of the year. It's April. Cool weather expected here for much of next week, but an overall dry pattern setting up for Michigan for next week and for much of the United States. And that's certainly good news for the people getting all of the rain now. 52 degrees later on today. The temperature is not going to go up much today. It'll probably drop to about 48 in the morning and then hang at around 50 much of the day. It will be kind of windy again. And boy, hasn't this been a windy spring? 15 to 25 miles an hour out of the west. It'll be a couple degrees cooler at Lake Michigan. Humidity should drop, though, to about 55%. Small craft advisories for Lake Michigan. High temperatures look like this. We'll be in the 50s here in southern lower Michigan, northern part of the state, at least up into the low 40s, which is actually warmer than they've been of late. That will start the snow melting up there, and it'll melt very gradually here over the next several days. We move on to Friday, and temperatures pretty much the same on Friday, with readings in the mid-50s here. Again, a little bit cooler near Lake Michigan, and just slightly cooler as you head off to the northern part of the state. Right on the beaches north of Muskegon, it'll be only in the 40s. And then finally on to Saturday, where we once again see a lot of green. Green is 50s, and we'll see a lot of temperatures here in the mid-50s on Saturday as well. Saturday will be cloudy. There'll be a chance for some scattered showers, but it won't be as cold as it was here during the day today. So let's take a look at our 5-day forecast. Look for a breezy day today. We'll be in the low 50s. Whitecaps opener on Friday. Look for increasing cloudiness during the day. And mid-50s. We'll see readings in the low to mid-50s on Saturday with a good chance for showers. Sunday looks dry. Look for readings to cool off back into the low 40s here for Monday. Long-range outlook is in now, calls for temperatures to be close to average here. I think this first part of the period will be cooler than average, and the second part of the week will be warmer than average. So if you're looking for some warmer weather around the 14th, 15th, and 16th, I think we'll see some days at least in the 60s and maybe up close to 70 once again. Much of the country drying out. I'm going to pull a Marco Rubio here and grab a swig of water. Good old aqua. And then, as you can see, we've got below average rainfall over much of the country. The only places seeing a lot of rain would be the Pacific Northwest and the lovely state of Maine. So that's a look at your weather. All in all, not a bad day coming up here today. Good day to get outside. Temperatures will be a little bit on the cool side. Michelle, what you got for us?
That's so terrible that that's called pulling a Marco Rubio, and I knew exactly what you meant.
Here we go. He was giving the response to the State of the Union, and he did this.
Yeah, and we're still talking about it.
Yep.
Anyways, I'm Michelle. I'm daughter number.
It's not like he did something evil or anything like that.
Yes, I'm daughter number 3. I'm also Mr. Producer, and I'm also the Peter Ducey of this situation. So let's see what we have to talk about today. We have tornado birthdays. It's our favorite here at Bill Steffen Weather. And April 2 and 3, 1956. So little Bill would have been not quite 3 years old, right?
Right. Well, no, I was a little older than that. I was born in 51, so I was just shy of 5.
Just shy of 5.
Right.
Okay, so you already liked
weather back then.
Yeah, you were probably already reading about it. 55 tornadoes, mostly in the Great Lakes region, including the Hudsonville-Standale tornado, which killed 18, although you said that that's not quite true. So we'll see what you meant.
Yes, I think it's 17 because they counted one woman twice under her married name and her maiden name.
And an additional 333 were injured. And this is actually a picture of the Saugatuck F4 tornado. I found one that we were able to use. So this is one of the tornadoes from that system that hit around 10:45 p.m. that night. It was 9 miles long and 100 yards wide. What an incredible photo.
Pardon me?
What an incredible photo, especially to have during that time period.
Yeah, that was kind of the rope stage here where it was kind of shrinking. It was there are pictures that show it much fatter than that. Obviously, if it's an F4, F5, it would have been more of a wedge tornado, and it was really interesting. We estimated the wind. One of the interesting facts I've used in my slideshow that I've taken around to schools and clubs and whatnot is that the fastest wind in the year 1956 anywhere on Earth, was on Van Buren Street in Hudsonville, Michigan, where we estimated the wind there was over 200 miles an hour. There was a car that was lifted up into the air over some telephone wires. There was the linoleum ripped up off it. I mean, the house was destroyed, and then the linoleum was ripped up off the floor. There was a car that was rolled, I don't know how many times, but it was, I didn't recognize it as a car when I saw a picture of it. I thought, that's a car? I don't know what that is, you know.
Wow.
But, it was really incredible, and we are certainly overdue. We have not had an F4, F5, or now it's EF4, EF5 tornado in the state of Michigan since, I believe, 1977. So we are long overdue for one of those big monsters.
So yeah, F5, really long, really wide, started just east of Zeeland, traveled all the way past Rockford.
Yep, 51 miles, I think, was the path of that tornado.
And then I was wondering where that fits in. The fourth deadliest in Michigan and number one was in 1953. So same time frame near Flint with 116 deaths.
June 8th, 1953 was Flint, Michigan. Flint and Beecher, which is right next to Flint. Makes a big difference if it's populated area or a rural area too. You can have a tornado go through a rural area and not cause a lot of loss of life, but you know, tornadoes that move through urban areas like the Joplin tornado that we talked about earlier can really be a problem.
So yeah, great economic damage as well. 8 million total for the storm system. And again, they believe that the smaller tornadoes were likely underreported because we have better radar now beginning in the 90s than we had back then.
Right. Yeah, we report a lot of tornadoes. Golly, every time there's a dark cloud, there's 10 cars following it. I mean, nobody did tornado chasing back then.
So we've got a new person introduced to the channel tonight. This is step-grandson Alex. Hi, Alex.
Hello.
And step-grandson is a mouthful, so how about we just call you grandson?
All righty then.
So he's going to be helping me with some of the producing duties for Bill, Steffen Weather. And let's see, what can we tell them about you? You hold the family record for the highest ACT score.
Yep.
You skipped the 3rd grade. You were too cool for school.
That I did.
And you attended the University of Mississippi on a full tuition academic scholarship.
Yep.
So I'm grateful for the help. So welcome, Alex. And he'll be doing this especially on nights when I'm at the airport, because I love my job at the airport and I'm not quitting anytime soon. So he also loves trivia. So let's see what you two know. This scale rating for tornado intensity categorizes tornadoes by the damage caused to man-made structures and vegetation. Is it the Fuji scale, the Fujita scale, or the Fajita scale? And we'll give the first answer to Bill.
It's the Fujita scale, but there are 2 Fujita scales. There was one by Theodore Fujita, who actually traveled down to Dallas and did painstaking work looking through film of tornadoes to see how fast, let's say, a roof flew off a house, and did a lot of work on that. So he came up with the Fujita scale, and then that was later adjusted a little bit, and now we call it the enhanced Fujita scale.
Alex, do you agree with his answer?
What my weatherman grandfather said. I'm
Yes.
pretty sure the fajita scale is how they rank the your local Mexican, Latin American restaurant. And
There should
Fuji
definitely
scale
be.
is just
Yes. There should not be a star rating in that circumstance. There should be a fajita scale. Okay, so it is the Fujita scale. And Bill, you shared with us all of the work that went into developing that scale.
Yep.
All right, real quick, Michigan's got a new car seat law. So if you're taking the grandkids somewhere, you need to pay attention to this. They want kids in the back seat up until they are 13. So anyone under 13 in the back seat, and you'll see those guidelines there for what kind of car seats they need. And Dad, some of my fondest memories are riding in the front middle in between you and Mom. I was really little and there's no car seat, and I really don't know how we all survived the 80s.
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
Mm-hmm.
I thought is 13 kind of kind of old. I know I mean, if you take somebody like Barron Trump, who's like 8 feet tall, how does a kid like that at 13 fit in a car seat?
Well, they wouldn't be. You only need the booster until you're 8 or until you're 4'9".
Oh, okay.
Barron Trump's not what he once was at the start of the first Trump administration. He's an adult now and currently goes to NYU, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, but the seatbelts are made for adult people. So these are modifications to help them work effectively when they're used for infants and children. So if you're in Michigan, be aware of that. And car seat laws do vary, some significantly from state to state, although they're all kind of catching up. So if you're traveling somewhere with your kids or your grandkids, be sure to be aware that the state that you're traveling to might have a different law. So Glen, Michigan, we did not forget about you. Someone commented very early in the production of this show that Glen, Michigan never gets any love from meteorologists. So we love you, Glen, Michigan. And if it happens there, it's going to be reported on this show. So this is actual news I found. This is a picture of a fence falling down from the storm damage in Glen, Michigan. Thank you for Chuck Mannion for letting us use it. So someone's got to repair their fence now. So Glen, Michigan, that's what happened to you.
Pancake City. It looks like the fence got pancaked.
Yes, exactly. All right, so your next question, and we'll give the first guess to Alex. On April 3, 1933, Michigan was the first state to repeal the 18th Amendment. What was the 18th Amendment?
That's pretty unmistakably prohibition.
Yep.
Bill, what do you think?
Yep, that is exactly true.
All right, on this date in 1933, Michigan was one of the first states to ban the manufacture and sale of alcohol in 1916, but they were the first to repeal it.
1933?
I'm sorry, so 1916 was when it was banned. April 3, 1933 was when it was repealed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And the 21st Amendment repealed the prohibition that the 18th Amendment put into place.
Mm-hmm.
So NASCAR has its roots in the Prohibition era as bootleggers modified their cars for speed and cargo capacity to transport alcohol. What does NASCAR stand for? And here are your options: the North American Society for Car and Auto Racing, the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, and the National Association for Convenient Speedy Alcohol Running. And yes, we should also add the National Association for Steffen Cars. That's what we need to call the Steffen fleet. Although, you know, all these years I've thought you should really get vanity plates for like stash 1, stash 2 for your cars, and you never have. But
no, I never have. I've just got a regular license plate.
Shame.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so Alex, what do you think?
As much as convenient speeding alcohol running would be funny, I'd say B, National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing. I thought the Canadians were always more inclined to Formula One anyway.
Bill, what do you think?
I agree with that. It is the letter B.
Yes. On April 3, 1953. So little Bill was not yet 2 years old, I think.
Not yet 2.
This magazine published its first issue. At its peak, it had a circulation of almost 20 million by 1970. By 2007, circulation was less than 3 million. Originally, it was a weekly magazine that people often kept on their coffee table.
Who's first? Alex, you want to take a stab at this?
It's the old magazine I've seen everywhere, TV Guide.
Oh, that's a good guess. I had thought of Life or Look or Better Homes and Gardens.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, TV Guide would make sense.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I followed the TV era. It came up with it, and then as streaming services have become more popular, it declined in popularity. Okay,
I had my picture in TV Guide many times because WZZM bought an ad in there for the local TV guide, and they used it to promote Craig James and myself. So I had, in fact, I probably cut out a couple of those, and they're probably still stored in the basement here somewhere.
Oh, we should put them up sometime.
Yeah.
So that's what got me to this,
With
because
my
they have
thick glasses and,
yeah.
my hair over my ears. Hippy
So they
dippy
have
baby,
a
man.
thing where you can put in someone's name and search for what they've been in. So of course I put you in. I had no idea that you were on this show, but you were on Secrets of the Underground, an episode in 2017, and they credit you as playing yourself.
Yeah, isn't that weird? And
I had no idea you had done that show. What did you talk about?
I've done all kinds of stuff. I've done. I did an episode of the Science Channel.
Really? Well, I have not been paying
one
attention.
of those. They brought in this was quite a production. They came with about 8 or 9 people, and I explained some of the weather for some of the shipwrecks on Lake Michigan.
Oh, okay, sure.
I prepared some graphics for it and everything, and it was. I thought it was a pretty good segment.
And I found it. It's on HBO Max now, which we have. So after we finish recording this, I'm going to go find it.
Okay, cool.
Oh, there you go. April 3, 1940, this national park was established in Keweenaw County, Michigan. This park area includes the main island and 450 smaller islands that surround it. You can get there by boat, seaplane, or ferry. Bill.
And I know what that is. Alex, do you know?
Well, it's not the Manitous and it's not Mackinac Island, so the other guess would be Isle Royal.
Yep, I think that is it.
Very good. Bill, have you ever been?
I have never been there, and I would like to go there someday. There are webcams up there where you can take a picture, and one of these days I'm going to show one of them because they're really beautiful. You can do a lot of hiking. There's a main island, and there are zillions of little islands around there too. It's closed in the wintertime. It's a tough place to get to, but and it's the least visited national park in the United States.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Probably because it's an island. Is it the only island that's a national park in the United States?
Is Acadia and Maine I'm thinking of, and of course anything in Hawaii is on an island.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they opened for the season on April 16th.
Possibly are a national park.
There isn't much in terms of accommodations on the island. This is one where you bring a tent and backpack and something like that, but not a lot of services there on the island.
Well, we'll have to put that on our list along with Glen, Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll start with Alex on this one. April 3 is Appreciation Day for people from this country. It borders all those other countries. The 2020 U.S. Census reported about 500,000 people with roots from the country living in the United States, but some people say that the true number could be about 5 times that, and some also say that it's the resting place of Noah's Ark, which is believed to be Mount Ararat, but that may also be nearby in Turkey. So, Alex, what do we think?
That is pretty unmistakably Armenia.
Very good. So
That's
April
correct.
3, Armenian Appreciation Day. So for those Armenians in your life, tell them you appreciate them.
Sounds good.
There we go. All right. One more April. April hath put a spring of youth in everything. Who said it? The person who said this was the author of 37 plays and 154 sonnets and poems. And at the Blue Lake Fine Arts Camp in Muskegon, Michigan, there is an approximately half-size replica of his London theater.
I think I know the answer to this one. Alex, you want to take a crack at it, or?
I've been there. Shakespeare.
Yep, it is William Shakespeare.
Very good.
That's your first name.
So that's to put a spring in your step. April hath put a spirit of youth in everything. So one more time, we'd like to thank our sponsors, and you can support us by supporting them. And thank you for the likes and subscriptions. Every time that you like or subscribe to our YouTube videos, you're telling the algorithms that you like us and to move us up more and more. So we appreciate every single one of those. We do have a merchandise store. You can get your Bill Steffen gear and signature logo stuff, and I'll put the links to that in the comments.
Thanks
Thank you
from
very
all of
much,
us.
everybody. Have yourself a great day, and stay out of that rather fresh breeze that we'll have. Things will calm down a little bit here on Friday.